This is Ryan.
And I'm John.
Welcome to preview season.
Oath of the Gatewatch.
All right, this is it. We are on the verge of having the entire set revealed for Oath of the Gatewatch. But first, we've got a few more preview cards creeping in here at the last minute.
It's now or never.
Under the wire. So let's take a look at them and see what mysteries remain within this awesome set.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First up, Expedite.
Hell of a 15th pick.
Well, it is a common, so I get to mention Pauper.
Yeah.
You know, it could help maybe the Kiln Fiend Nivik Cyclops deck.
Sure.
You know, that one that likes to fire off a bunch of really cheap spells, and this one does replace itself, so that seems like it'd be a good fit, but I don't know.
It's fine. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. In
It's the bottom half of Messenger Speed, by the way.
Yep.
Because the Messenger Speed is top, and then this is the bottom of Messenger Speed from Theros. So
yeah,
that's
neat little
bit of a little trivia tidbit.
In Constructed, I think Zada Hedron Grinder is your best target because then you get to draw like a zillion cards by my math.
That's actually pretty great.
Right? He gives your whole team haste at that point, and then you get to draw cards for every one of them. So.
Oh, man. And Zada's the kind of card you can pick up late enough in a draft, so if you take a flyer on an Expedite and then you get a Zada, oh, man, that could be crazy.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
All right. So that's that one.
Well, okay, so I guess I should say that this card is going to be nuts in Two-Headed Giant, right? Because, I mean, you just give your teammates creature haste.
Yeah, if you have nothing better to play, let them drop something big, you give it haste, then you get to pick up another card for your trouble. Yeah, that's not terrible.
Yeah, it seems nutso in Two-Headed Giant.
Very friendly thing to do. I like it.
Totally.
I like it. All right. Hedron Crawler.
This is the opposite of a 15th pick.
Oh, God.
This is a great card.
This is a great card? Convince me this is a great card, because I was seeing
I'm talking in limited, because we don't yet know how scarce colorless mana is going to be, but right now we've got kind of the equivalent of a rampant growth, but it's got like a little body attached to it. So it's a little more kind of delicate and sensitive than a rampant growth would be, but it doesn't commit you to a color. It ramps you mana, and it gives you that sweet, sweet colorless mana that you're probably going to need. It lets you... it gives you freedom in your draft to kind of take more colorless cards because you've got the one Hedron Crawler to bank on.
Yeah.
So I love this card. It also gives you a pretty convenient excuse to not play green, because this is traditionally kind of like a green effect, but this is kind of gives you all the upside of green without having to play all the other really terrible green cards. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay, well, maybe I'm spoiled. Maybe it wasn't that long ago you could get Elvish Mystic or something, right? That provided ramps starting on turn 2. This you can't play until 2, so it's really 3.
Yep.
And with like an Elvish Mystic, he could even chip in for like a big Alpha Strike. You know, he had 1 power there. Maybe that would be enough to do it. This is 0. 1. It straight up just dies to anything.
It's basically an Eldrazi Scion.
Yeah.
That costs mana.
Yeah.
But it taps. It's so good.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm underappreciating what that's going to do for me.
Going from 2 to 4 mana is a big deal.
That is true. We've seen some good 4 mana cost guys. All right. Well, I'll check it out. I'll keep an eye on the crawler here.
My evaluation depends on how scarce the colorless mana is, how much of a cost that is, but my intuition is that this card is very good. It's not a first pick, but it's a strong 3rd or 4th or 5th pick. Okay. For sure.
And you know what I would actually use that colorless mana on?
What?
Would be Warping Wail.
Hell of a segue.
I practice these ahead of time. In the mirror, even though no one can see me, I got to make sure that they flow.
Getting a real candid look at how the sausage is made today.
Totally. So, is this the Eldrazi charm that we've all been waiting for?
That's a great way to look at it, actually.
Yeah.
This card's going to be at its best as removal, obviously, but its value is going to come in its versatility. Yeah, I think. So you can treat it kind of like a brainstorm. You don't cast it until you absolutely have to, until you've got like a really good plan behind it.
Yeah, Man, you said the removal is going to be used probably most frequently. I was, expecting counter-target sorcery. Those tend to be the bigger, more powerful kind of haymaker spells, and if you can shut that down for just 2 mana, that seems like a really good use of this as well. The one I'm not crazy about is making the Scion token. I'm not really clear when I would want to turn my legit card into that. But.
Yeah, that mode seems kind of like very fringe. There are spots where it'll be right, but they're going to be it's few and far between.
Yeah. All right. How about this guy, Dimensional Infiltrator?
I love this card.
Yeah, how excited can I be about a rare 2/1 flyer with flash for 2 mana? I'm really asking, like, is that something that you're like, ooh, what a great rare? I don't know. It just feels like a little tiny pipsqueak guy, but he, it doesn't stop there. He does something else, right? So for 1 and a colorless, I can exile your top card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously not going to deck you by doing that. I'm not going to run you out of cards.
That's true.
So what am I doing? I'm stocking up on processor fuel, I guess. And if I hit a land, I can then bounce this guy back to my hand. Let me think about that for a second. Because he doesn't have an ability that triggers on being cast. He doesn't have an ability that triggers on entering the battlefield. He doesn't have a trigger on leaving the battlefield. So why do I want to return him to my hand? Even if I do it in response to your removal on him, I have like a 30% chance of scooping him up and saving him. What is going on with this card?
That's So you can pair it with something like I'm always going to come back to Molten Nursery because my favorite draft decks have always had Molten Nursery in it, and this is an enchantment from Battle for Zendikar that deals 1 damage to target creature or player when you cast a colorless spell.
Okay.
So something like Dimensional Infiltrator. Obviously, this is only happening in limited, and we're talking about comboing a rare with an uncommon. Yeah. So this is kind of like Magical Christmas Land type scenario, but I'm just saying there are not 0 ways to go off with Dimensional Infiltrator. So I've said before that I'm a sucker for a 2/1 for 2, and this one
has wings.
Yeah, it's flying and flash. It lets you keep up mana. It's great at enabling ingest, which is going to be its main kind of use, and it flies. Like, flying is so good. Like, oh man,
that's
I love
true.
this card.
And I forget, I don't play a lot of blue myself, just on principle. I guess if you do spend your turn holding up that mana, waiting to see if you can counter something. If not, then this guy gives you a way to effectively use that mana, so you're not a turn behind. So that would be good for the right type of deck, and I'm just not in that mindset. But I see it.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's cool. Oh, here we go. Zendikar Resurgent.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the bottom half of this thing, right?
Sure.
So whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card.
Yep.
All right, so it doesn't even matter if that gets countered. You just have to cast it.
Just cast it.
That I like, but paying 7 mana for that ability. All right, so what's the rest of the card do? Well, it doubles my mana production, but I need 7 to get this out to begin with. So then I ramp from, let me crunch the numbers, carry the 1. I ramp from 7 to 14.
Yep.
And that's assuming that my mana is all coming from lands, because it doesn't double up sources like Hedron Crawler that we saw before. It only doubles your land mana production.
Yeah, Magic's a game of diminishing returns. 14 is not that much more than 7.
No. So I think I like the bottom half of this card, but I would like it if it cost like a quarter of what it costs here, or a third. About.
Yeah.
I pay 7 just to keep drawing cards. So
I think this is mostly commander fodder.
There you go.
It's a combination of 2 really great combo enablers from Champions of Kamigawa. It's a combination of Glimpse of Nature, which is, I believe, banned in Modern, and Heartbeat of Spring. And if you have a way to cheat this into play, it's going to be great. I don't know how you're cheating it into play in Modern. I know in Legacy there's things like Academy Rector, stuff like that. But the thing is, you could just play Glimpse of Nature because that card's not banned. So I don't really know where in competitive Magic this card fits in, but there is no doubt that it's super powerful.
Okay. All right, man. So this whole episode's just been like weird-ish cards that I want to keep an eye on and see where they end up.
Yeah, totally. We've disagreed more in this episode than in the rest of the series combined.
Wow.
It's pretty great.
Reaching a peak here.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's a card that doesn't cost 14 or 7 mana. It just costs 1.
Yep.
Reaver Drone.
The 2/1 for black is back.
Yeah. Now, it feels really aggressive for black, and I think that's because lately they've been on more of a kill everything and grind your way to victory kind of a strategy. I haven't really seen a whole lot of these. So having an aggressive 1-drop that hurts you for not having the right follow-up, that's in flavor for black. I like it. I like the feel of this card. I just don't know if you're going to see it in play until, drumroll, some stuff rotates out. I mean, there's some black dash cards that are really popular. The 1 and 2 mana slots are kind of filled with some aggressive warrior guys from the Khans block.
Totally.
So once we free up some space there, maybe he'll have a home. But as far as that, I don't think it's really worth a card slot until you get some more support.
Yeah, I think an archetype that's been getting pushed recently in Standard is the kind of mono black aggressive deck, and they're always making sure that there's a critical mass of 2 1s for 1 black, and so you've got all the warriors, and you've got this guy now, and you are going to run into this deck at FNM at least once a month, and it will crush you, and you will be sad.
Yeah.
You'll be sad about that.
All right, well, look forward to that sadness coming to an FNM near you.
Great.
How about one last one? I got Matter Reshaper.
Love this card.
So do I. Death triggers are great.
Yeah.
They're probably my second favorite thing, right behind Enter the Battlefield triggers, because those you can abuse with flickering and bounce and all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
Death trigger, a little bit harder to get repeat value out of, but I see a lot of ways to take advantage of this guy in Constructed. A card called Collected Company comes right to mind.
Yes.
Since he'll fit right into that. But even, say, Nantuko Husk from Origins, he would just eat it up, get another thing in there, just eat that up.
What I've learned from this spoiler is that every card is great in the Nantuko Husk Rally the Ancestors Collected Company deck.
Yes.
Every single card.
Everyone.
Yes.
So overall, I think where am I? Oh yeah, so cards that replace themselves are, I'm just going to get my train of thought back together here.
Nice.
The Eldrazi can warp your mind.
Choo choo.
Kids, watch out. So, I think he's even better in Limited because removal there is a little bit harder to come by. So they finally do spend something to kill this guy.
You get your card.
You get your card back. So that's really, really great. I like Matter Reshaper. I think he's a good pickup for a lot of decks in many formats. Also, how weird would it be for him to die and then you reveal the new Nissa Planeswalker off the top of your deck and she just drops in for free because she's only 3 mana.
So Joe, over in customer service, suggested free Jace. Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which I'm also a fan of.
Yeah.
I mean... yeah, I love this card. This is exactly the kind of mediocre value dude with crazy upside potential that I am just a sucker for. I love it. I love it!
Yeah, so overall, impressions on the set as a whole. What do you think?
I'm excited to play with it.
So am I. Can't wait. All right, well, the whole set list should be out pretty shortly here, I think. So keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, you can pre-order all of these cards at TCGplayer.com, so... check it out. Don't be caught unprepared for the pre-release or release weekend.
Please do not be.
Yeah.
That would make all our work in vain. Do not do that.
We want to see you do well. We want to hear about your triumphs. So leave a comment or visit our Facebook page. Send us an email. Send us a text. Stop by our building and say hello. Whatever it takes. We're a fan of you and hope you're a fan of us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, Internet. We love you.